It started with a mirror, not an ornate one. No gold frame, no carvings of angels or devils. Just a tall, narrow mirror with a frame of dark wood, dull with age. I found it at an estate sale one Saturday morning, leaning against a wall among old furniture and boxes of forgotten lives. It wasn't the kind of thing I usually bought, but something about it caught me. The reflection was too clear, almost brighter than the world around it, as if the glass were remembering light instead of showing it. The woman selling it said it came from an old mansion on the north side of town. Family heirloom, she told me. Belonged to a widow who never left her house after her husband died. She said it with the tone of gossip, half pleasure, and when I asked how much, she smiled too quickly. $50, she said. I should have walked away. When I brought it home, the mirror didn't seem special at all. I set it in the hallway outside my bedroom, wiped the dust from the surface, and for a moment, the reflection flickered, not like a glitch, more like a breath. The air behind the glass seemed to move before mine did. That night, I woke up around 2:45 a.m. to the sound of soft footsteps in the hallway. I live alone. The house was still, yet the steps were real, slow, deliberate, shuffling against the wood floor. I held my breath and listened. The sound stopped outside my door. Then came a whisper, my own voice. Come look. I froze. It wasn't a hallucination. I knew my voice, the exact tone, the rasp from years of sleepless nights, the slight tremble when I was scared, and it was calling me from the other side of the door. I told myself I was dreaming, but I got up anyway, because fear has a gravity all its own. I opened the door. The hallway was dark, except for the mirror. It glowed faintly, the way a pond glows under moonlight. My reflection was there, but I wasn't standing close enough for that to be possible. The other me was smiling. I remember whispering, no. The reflection tilted its head. My head didn't move. For a long moment, we stared at each other. The air in the hall grew cold enough to sting my skin. Then the reflection raised a hand, slowly, fluidly, and pressed its palm against the inside of the glass. The surface rippled. I stumbled back, tripping over the rug. When I blinked, the reflection was gone. The next morning, I convinced myself it was a trick of the light. Sleep deprivation. Stress. I even covered the mirror with a sheet, telling myself it was temporary. But that night, I woke up again. This time, the mirror wasn't in the hallway. It was in my bedroom. I hadn't moved it. The sheet I'd draped over it was gone, folded neatly at the foot of my bed. The mirror stood where the dresser had been, facing me. My reflection blinked a heartbeat too late. Then it smiled again, slow, patient, as if amused by my disbelief. I threw a blanket over it, grabbed my phone, and recorded a video, trying to catch the movement. When I watched the footage later, I saw something I can't explain. The video showed me asleep in bed, the mirror in the background. At 2:45, the blanket over it lifted slightly, as if pushed from the inside. A pale hand pressed against the fabric from underneath. Then it fell still. I moved the mirror to the garage the next day. I locked the door and tried to forget it, but the mirror didn't stay put. By the following evening, it was back in the hallway. I found muddy footprints leading from the garage to the stairs, small, bare prints, as though a child had walked through rain. I followed them to the mirror. The glass was fogged over from the inside. I wiped it with a towel. Behind my reflection stood another figure. At first, I thought it was someone in the room behind me, but when I turned, the hallway was empty. When I looked back, the figure had stepped closer. Its face was pressed to the glass, but it wasn't human. Its skin was paper white, its eyes black, liquid, endless, and it was smiling. That night, I dreamed of water, black water, my reflection drowning beneath its surface, reaching for me. I woke up, gasping, drenched in sweat, and the sound of dripping filled the room. The mirror was wet, condensation streaking down its face like tears. I tried selling it online. Every time someone agreed to buy it, their messages stopped before the meeting. One woman texted, "Don't sell it. It already knows you." By then, I'd stopped sleeping. The house felt heavier, like every shadow was holding its breath. Lights flickered when I passed. My reflection moved a second slower. Once, while brushing my teeth, I turned my head and my reflection didn't. It watched me. That was when I decided to destroy it. I dragged the mirror outside with shaking hands, the frame cold enough to burn. The sky was pale with the first hints of dawn. I lifted a hammer and brought it down with everything I had. The glass shattered, but it didn't break the way glass should. The cracks spread slowly, like veins pulsing outward, and in every fractured shard, I saw eyes, dozens of them. Watching, then came the sound, a whisper of a sigh, like something exhaling for the first time in years. The shards fell inward, disappearing into darkness. I buried the frame behind the shed. For a while, the house was silent again, until last night. I woke to the sound of soft footsteps in the hallway. I didn't want to look, but I did. The mirror was back, standing exactly where it had been the first night. No cracks, no damage. My reflection smiled. But this time, it wasn't alone. Standing beside my reflection was the pale woman, the one from the shards. Her head turned slowly toward me, and in the stillness that followed, she raised her hand. I heard my voice whisper again, "Come, look," and I did. The last thing I saw was her hand pressing against the glass from the inside, and mine pressing back. Now, when someone passes my house, they sometimes say they see a figure in the upstairs window. It stands there at night, perfectly still, as if waiting for something. I want to tell them it isn't me. But when I try to speak, the voice that comes out isn't mine anymore.